Remember, red moves south to north, green is north to south. It looks like right now that rotation, the strongest rotation, and it has weakened some, would be out over Long Island Sound. So that is the good news at this point. It appears that the worst of the storm has moved out into Long Island Sound. Still, though, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. I just got a report from Montville right now from the National Weather Service. Let's show you that storm, too, that with a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Here it is. This is the storm in Montville. We'll switch over and show you the normal view. There you go. There's the storm in Montville, now moving just north of Mohegan Sun, right along 395 and 2A of hail to the size of pennies. A 3/4 of an inch diameter hail in Montville from this storm as it moves through southeastern Connecticut. That's why we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for New London County. All right, let's take a look at our camera in New Haven. Now, we're looking south from New Haven. We are looking over New Haven Harbor, and you can see the sky is fairly ominous there. The tornado warning is in effect. Any threat for a tornado right now will pass, and you can see some lightning there as well, will pass south of downtown New Haven. The strongest of the thunderstorm right now is over Long Island Sound, just to the south of New Haven, off the coast of West Haven, and this continues to move offshore. It looks like the immediate threat has passed for a tornado, and you can see the storm as it moves out over the sound is beginning to weaken some. Just trying to take a look here myself to see if I can see any more rotation. It looks like, again, this storm has passed. The rotation, which would be right here, is south of East Haven, just off of Morris Cove, not too far from Lighthouse Point Park, but offshore nonetheless, so out in Long Island Sound. The heaviest storm, normally when you get a storm like this, the hail core, or where you have the potential for hail, is north of where the potential tornado is. So that is what would be over the beaches right now. And this has weakened some as it's moved toward the beaches, which is typical. Long Island Sound this time of year, it's not for swimming, it's for the birds. It's only in the mid-50s. And that will actually cut off the source of warm, moist air for the thunderstorm that it needs to thrive, that it needs to develop. And that is what we have going on right now across portions of West Haven. And the storm continues off to the north. This is, though technically in the tornado warning, further north around Woodbridge right now. There's no threat for a tornado in Woodbridge. The threat for the tornado right along the beach in West Haven. If you are in West Haven, or if you're in Milford or extreme southern Orange, right, sort of where Milford and West Haven come together, not too far from the Post Road, the best thing you can do right now would be move indoors, stay away from windows, small interior room, and you want to try to get as many walls as you can between yourself and the outside of your home. That's what we tell you to do in a tornado. Now, obviously, if you're right along the beach and you hear a loud roaring noise, you hear those winds pick up, that's the time to move indoors. And again, you know, there's no reason to be outside in a thunderstorm anyway. But in a situation like this, the best thing to do is to stay safe, move indoors. And if you hear a loud noise, then that's the time to go down to the basement. We spoke earlier. If we can actually get some of the damage video re-queued from Monica's package earlier in the newscast, we can show what strong winds can do. Now, we had a storm earlier in South Windsor about 3.5 hours ago. That storm produced strong winds. It was what we call a microburst. So winds coming down from a cloud, a lot of rain, a lot of hail comes down from the cloud, and then it expands as soon as it hits the ground, and it pushes out in a real hurry. That gives you strong winds, and that was enough to knock down trees. And you can see this is the damage we had in South Windsor earlier. Here in Milford and West Haven, the concern right now is for strong winds, but that may be produced through a tornado. So that is the concern right now. Most of this has moved off into Long Island Sound, although the threat, again, is still there for that tornado. As we look at a live picture, that's from I believe that's from a Skycam, a traffic camera out on I-95. But let's head back to that New Haven Skycam, if we can, from the Register building at Long Wharf looking south. Well, that's the green. You can see the rain's coming down fairly heavily at the green right now. And we have had reports of hail in West Haven. Those are beginning to come into us to our news desk. If you have any weather reports, any damage reports from West Haven or Milford, or where the storm was actually the strongest up north of the Wilbercross Parkway through portions of Orange and up through Derby, Ansonia, and Shelton, that was the storm that was moving south. Please send those to us. Weather at NBC30.com. That's the best way to reach us. And you can give us more information, or you can call our news desk, 860-313-6300. That is where you can pass your storm reports along to us. So the bulk of the action, again, let's give you a little bit of geography here. This is the Q Bridge up here. This is New Haven. Tweed Airport's right about here. Here's Lighthouse Point. Here's Morris Cove. West Haven's here, the old Savin Rock Amusement Park right about there. And just to the south, right along the coast of West Haven. This is where we have that strong thunderstorm that is moving off to the south right now out into Long Island Sound. But still, if you live along the beaches right there in West Haven or Milford, I'd say within a mile of the beach, now's the time to, make sure everything's going okay. Take a look outside the window briefly. Just make sure that there's nothing too ominous on your doorstep. If you hear a loud roaring noise, you hear those winds pick up, then that is the time to move indoors. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings for other locations in the state. Again, this tornado warning goes for another few minutes. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Litchfield County, a real nasty looking storm around Goshen right now, sliding just to the north of Torrington. Another thunderstorm around Tolland over toward Ellington right now. They've seen more. They saw a storm earlier today. And as we take a look down toward Uncasville in Montville, you can see we continue to have that thunderstorm as well near the casino, and that has produced, again, the potential for severe weather in southeastern Connecticut. That severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect there until 7 o'clock. Now let's go back to the storm at hand in southern New Haven County. Are we going straight up through Nightly? I'm going to ask my producer, Carolyn. Are we going to go up through Nightly, or are we going to sign off here at the break? Okay, we're going to go until 6:30 until this tornado warning goes. So we will get you to Nightly News as soon as that begins at 6:30. But we're going to stay on the air with this tornado warning until it expires at 6:30. We're coming up about 2 minutes before 6:30 right now. And again, as we look to the south of New Haven, there's that storm. Let's get the New Haven sky cam up if we can, Rich, whenever you get a minute. I know you're busy back there in the control room, and take a look at the storm. Again, the worst of the storm is passing south of New Haven. So you may be looking at New Haven and say that doesn't look so bad right now in New Haven, but the worst of the storm has passed south of downtown through portions of West Haven and Milford, and also up toward Orange and Shelton. That's where the worst of the storm was. And this was the same thunderstorm that prompted the tornado warning earlier in the day through portions of Southbury and Oxford. We have reports of damage coming in from Southbury earlier. Troop A in Southbury, the state police barracks there, reported damage in Southbury. So that was the concern as the storm moved south. It weakened a little bit once it got into Seymour and Ansonia, and then in the last 25 minutes or so, it sort of increased in intensity, and it picked back up in strength, and that gave us the tornado warning now that's in effect for extreme southern New Haven County, which goes for another minute or so. But again, the storm appears to have weakened just a little bit. A quick recap of what we have across the rest of the day. We have another minute left of our coverage here. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Litchfield County. Let's show you where that storm is. Severe thunderstorm warning for Litchfield County goes until 7 o'clock tonight. And that, again, for Litchfield County for this storm up around Torrington, which is producing the potential for a little bit of small hail. We'll put the hail indicator up quickly here. You can see where those oranges are near Goshen. That's what's been producing hail earlier, so no reason to think Goshen's not getting in on the hail right now. Moving toward Torringford and Route 202 up on the hill there toward the Walmart and Big Lots there in Torrington. Expect a pretty nasty thunderstorm before too long. Another storm in Tolland County. This one's not warned, but this storm is with a severe thunderstorm warning now pushing east of Mohegan Sun, now into Ledyard right along 2A, heading down toward Long Island Sound before too far. And again, the storm that prompted the tornado warning is going to expire here momentarily. The tornado warning will expire as the storm has now pushed out into Long Island Sound. We'll give you a live picture of New Haven before we sign off for the evening. You can see the storm, again, moving through New Haven right now. We'll keep you posted with any new weather information. We'll have complete wrap-up of the rest of today's news and sports coming up tonight at 11. We'll send you off to New York now for Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Supreme decision. President